watching Force 13's live streaming service. Hurricane Dean, Hurricane Alan, Hurricane Wilma, Hurricane Gilbert, Hurricane Emily, and many more in a documentary from Playa del Carmen, Mexico, August the 2nd to the 13th on Force 13.
Welcome to a special edition of the Force 13 Caribbean Weather Desk. We will be covering the tropical scene, and I will now hand over to Alan. Welcome back, Alan, and also Lee.
Hello, hi, and yes, welcome to this very special Caribbean Weather Desk. It's a Caribbean Weather Desk Marathon where I'll be doing a couple of videos starting from this evening and going all the way through to the upcoming week as we watch as Invest 97L develops into something and roars through the Caribbean. And yes, we also have Lee and Max as well.
Yes, good evening.
Hello.
I actually do climate shows, so I'm planning to do a climate show this week as well. So I don't know when, but I'll let the viewers know. Back to
Yep. All right. So now we have the view of the whole entire tropical Atlantic, and well, there's two features out there. There's 96L over here, and the main feature, this big large system here, Invest 97L. This system is currently at about 14.9 north, 57 west. Give or take a few latitude and longitude, as that update was given a couple hours ago. So likely it's a lot further west than where it was during that time. It is going at a pretty decent speed. It is slowing down, however, so that's a good thing. You usually don't want developing storms to go too fast, or else they might outrun themselves. It happens time to time. But yes, so here it is. You can see it on the white shot, and you can see that the Leeward Islands and the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, as well as part of Puerto Rico, now starting to feel some of the effects from this. The heaviest of effects are more closer to the center of the storm. You know, they're getting a few showers, isolated thunderstorms here and there. A few gusty winds of up to 35. So yeah, it's all good. And also comparing it to what it did look like a couple of basically 24 hours ago. 24 hours ago, it was out here, and it literally looked like one small little speck of cloud, and that was it. It didn't look all too great. And it was about this time, and it went through diurnal minimum, and whenever diurnal minimum happens across the area, it usually suppresses thunderstorm activity and tends to not really make it look so good. However, as 97 progressed and the night progressed and it came morning and you entered what is known as diurnal maximum, and as you can imagine, that does the opposite effect to diurnal minimum. So convection started firing up and the system started taking off, and now it's right about right here. And as you can see, it's definitely got banding features. You can see this prominent band that's connected to the intertropical inversion zone and monsoon trough here. Got another band to the north. See little small minor bandings south and north, and it's all coming together. There's a little bit of waning of the thunderstorm activity, and that's because now, yet again, we're at a diurnal minimum cycle now. But one thing that we have noticed that is quite different from what happened last night is that you could see the thunderstorm activity started picking up again. Actually, it started picking up before even the start of diurnal minimum peak at sundown. So you could see it popping up over the estimated center and some more popping up on the northern side of it. So, you know, that it's all good. So let's bring it in a bit more, shall we? All right, so here's a close-up shot. Can't really see too well, but here is Puerto Rico. Here is the lesser, the rest of the Lesser Antilles, the Leewards and Windward Islands, Trinidad, Venezuela, and then Guyana down here. And as you can see, the system here, centered somewhere right about here. You can see the spin going quite well. Looking at some of the wind readings coming out of the islands here, it is definitely starting to show some sort of spin. You know, it could be a circulation they're developing. The problem, the NHC was having a hard time giving a higher probability on this because of the fast speed as well as the low levels. The low levels weren't as developed as the mid levels and the very good looking spin. The low levels weren't as really good looking as this. It still looked like an open wave where you have winds on the east side coming from the southeast and on the west side coming out of the northeast. And there wasn't really any west winds or any southwest winds on the south side denoting a circulation. However, there are a few stations down here that's starting to pick up more westerly winds, so this could definitely be the case where you know the circulation is developing, and pressures recorded on these stations, they are dropping. Slowly. I mean, it's not significant dropping. You know, this thing's probably not going to do a rapid intensification from an invest to a Cat 5 in a matter of like 8 hours or anything, but it is definitely getting there. You know, it's got a bit more work to do, but it is getting there. So to get to this thing where the National Hurricane Center was kind of iffy about on percentages and so on, it'd be this here. This is the graphical tropical weather outlook by the National Hurricane Center, and as you can see, they have the system tagged, and this is the, I guess you could say it's the general cone, and saying cones in quotations because, you know, it's not really a cone, but it gives you a general idea of where the system will go. And it'll go westwards and then west-northwestwards once it gets into the central Caribbean, central western Caribbean. This could potentially have some effects to maybe Texas or Mexico. It could even be Florida. At this point, it's just too early to speculate exactly where it would go after it moves out of the Caribbean. But for now, you know, all things point to Caribbean, and looking at models and looking at the conditions, it really looks like that this thing's gonna really hit it off. You know, a tropical storm in Central Atlantic, maybe even a hurricane in the Northwest Caribbean, could even be major. You know, looking at the oceanic heat content in the Northwest Caribbean, as it is still quite record-breaking high. And put a system through that, and that thing will ramp up like you've never seen before. But I mean, for the time being, they're giving it 30 over the next 48 hours, 60 over the next 5 days. I'm pretty sure that will rise pretty high on the next update, if not the update after. And we should be seeing this thing blow up into maybe a tropical depression somewhere along this area here, and then ramps up quickly as it moves further west. You know, I mean, based on how it looks now, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing, all this thing really needs is a closed, tight-knit circulation, and then it's literally called a tropical depression because it already has the winds, 35 mile per hour winds. There's been some gusts in areas of up to 40, but sustained 35, so it's all good. You know, it's just about there. It just needs that circulation and a little bit more of that convection, a little bit more of that thunderstorms on top, and bang, there you go. So, so what are the models saying for it? Well, let's take a look. Oh, this is just a general one. It doesn't show all the models here, but it gives you a general idea. So the storm will move into the Eastern Caribbean over the next 24 hours, and then eventually, as we get into next week, crossing near Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and then eventually the western tip of Cuba to northern Belize, Yucatan, and then crossing into Mexico. There were a few models that were showing it possibly going more into Cuba and possibly into Florida, some of them taking it more into this area. But of course, this is just a simplified map. It doesn't really show all the models. But yeah, you get the general idea. This thing's going to be moving westward to west-northwestwards and over this area. Now, this area is a very, very very worrisome area, especially if you see the upper level conditions. If you see what's forecasted and what it has now. Well, let's look at that. Okay, so this is 97L, and you can see it has quite a decent upper level anticyclone, and it's giving it very low wind shear over the system. Now, as you can see, we got this big upper level trough, otherwise known as the TUTT, T-U-T-T, upper level trough and troposphere thingy. But anyway, it's been giving the Eastern Caribbean some high wind shear, some unfavorable 30, 40 knot wind shear. But as time went on and as this upper level anticyclone moved westwards towards the Caribbean, it has grown in size, gotten stronger, and the upper level trough and the associated upper level low has been pushing northwards as well as westwards away, and it's been carrying this band of higher wind shear away from the Eastern Caribbean, away from the Caribbean. It's lifting out and it's weakening. This low shear area is taking over, and well, storms, they need the low wind shear to develop, among other things, and well, it's not going to have any problems with this. This is going to lift out, this is going to be gone, this is going to take over. Going to be low shear and smooth sailing all the way through. So and that's the scary thing about this. It's smooth sailing and very high heat potentials. Very, very scary at what the potentials could do. So yeah, I've been talking about potentials a lot. Okay, so how does the potential look? Well, I don't really have the map up here now, but let me try and bring that up for you. I didn't get the chance to bring that up, but let me bring that up. Anyway, in the meantime, while that loads, so basically, what the heat potential is, it's not really the sea surface temperatures, but what it is, it's the amount of energy within the ocean, from the surface down to whatever depth, and the deeper it is, and the warmer waters, and deeper as that is, the more energy that the storm will use for development. And as you can see, very, very high heat potentials here across the whole entire Western Caribbean or Northwestern Caribbean, even stretching into Bahamas and even the Gulf of Mexico. But okay, so the system is right about there, and it's going to expect to move through. And once it hits here, this is where you're going to start to see things really pick up. Now, could see this thing start ramping up into hurricane, major hurricane. I mean, it's certainly high enough to support it. I mean, technically anything above this line here is capable of supporting hurricane or higher. So, and the heat potentials are all around here are high enough to support tropical storm, tropical depression, no prob. So with all those things combined together, we could potentially be looking at a serious situation. So here is the intensity guidance for it. And as you can see, for the most part, it's intensifying hurricane. Even more and more models now are starting to bring it into the major category. And you know, if this does play out, it's going to be a serious problem, especially for those in the Yucatan. Well, technically anywhere from Belize to Jamaica, Cuba, Bahamas, Florida, those along the Gulf Coast, just really depending on exactly what direction the storm takes. So, you know, it's something that we need to keep an eye on very closely over the next few days as it tracks westwards into the area. So, yeah, to keep a close eye on this. So as it evolves over the next few days, and after, you know, it all pumps up into developing whatever it's going to develop into and wherever it's going to fit, we here at the Force 13 Caribbean Weather Desk, we will keep you informed and up to date on everything that this system does. And if needs be, we will go on the live streaming if things do end up getting pretty terrible out there. Also, just to point out, the big boss Nathan Foy is going for his bit of a vacation trip to Mexico, actually to the Yucatan area this coming week. And lucky for him, seems like he's going to be there enjoying himself a storm. Something that apparently has been quite hard, that every single time he goes on vacation, he's always missing the storms, because the storms always seem to pop up whenever he goes. So he's going to be there enjoying that, and hopefully we'll be getting some footage from there as well, and also from me. Me in the Cayman Islands. Cayman will be affected in some way or another by the system, and I will definitely try to bring as much footage as I can. There's a lot of things that I'm involved with that you know, if something like this was to happen, I'll be pretty busy. But I'll try to bring my camera along with me and try to get the footage for you guys. So yeah, so that is pretty much that. I don't know if anyone on the show with us tonight wants to add anything
I might
else
just
to it.
add the fact that the energy is coming in from the sun as well through this middle part of the week, on Tuesday, Wednesday, so that energy is also going to help this system to explode. And I can say to Adam that it will become a major hurricane due to this energy. So I'm urging Adam to watch his space, as I said to him. So yeah, so anything else, Adam?
Yeah, well, we'll definitely be doing that. David, do you have anything?
Sea surface temperature.
Oh, you
How,
haven't been. Oh.
so from previous discussions, we know that sea surface temperature has been high. Adam, in our last segment, I think I asked a question about the sea surface temperature, and you can give us a update on that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Well, with the sea surface temperatures, I'm about to bring up what the floater.
I think Adam might be having technical issues again. The audio's
it's
just
because of his
Right.
dropped. So, Adam, back to you again, mate.
Yeah, just give me two.
I think he's trying to let his
Okay, no,
phone.
that's all right. Adam, for our viewers, Adam has a what type of clock is it, Lee?
It's like a Big Ben clock or
Yes,
something. Like a
I
clock
can't
that
think.
Yeah, I apologize for that. It was one of the clocks that I have, what officially it's called a grandfather clock.
That's
I
Oh, there
it.
you
usually
go. I
call
knew
it,
it was something like that.
I nickname it Mini Big Ben. But anyway, to get back onto what we're discussing here, the sea surface temperatures now. I'm not sure how well you can see this. I've put up the sea surface temperature plot on the satellite, and as you can see, 97 is now starting to tap into that 30-degree temperature, and now there's even some spots here and there that are even up to 31. So it's starting to really tap into that. And as it gets into the Western Caribbean, it's going to be tapping into some really, really high sea surface temperatures, especially in the Northwest Caribbean. If it gets into like my area, the Cayman area, or even anywhere between Jamaica, Cuba, and Yucatan and Belize, anywhere within that area, is going to be going through some really, really high stuff. I could probably, okay, can't really see too well, but I'll run you through it. Basically, you got, your 30s here, you got increasing 30s, 31s, 32s. There's even some spots with even higher in the Gulf of Mexico, 31s, 32s, all across the Gulf of Mexico, Bahamas, same thing. So as the system moves westwards, it's going to be tapping into that warm temperatures. It's going to be having the upper level favorability. It's going to be having pretty much all a storm would ever want for development. So we could be looking at a very, very potentially deadly and dangerous situation later next week. The only inhibiting factor I would have to say for this system is maybe its forward speed. The system has been moving pretty rapidly over the last day or two. Has been going anywhere from 25 to 30 miles per hour towards the west. Now, I mean, a developing system moving at a rapid speed isn't really the ideal kind of thing for a developing system, because then sometimes you have the low level stuff outrunning the mid and upper level stuff. And sometimes you may have this massive unorganized system that just won't develop because it's just moving way too fast. Now, the thing we have noticed about it, especially within the last few hours alone, it has slowed down, has started to slow down, and I do expect it to slow down even more so when it gets to the Caribbean, and especially start to drop off in forward speed once it reaches about the 70, 72, 73-degree line right here about the middle of the Caribbean. From here on outwards, it's going to be a nice, easy flow through, not fast, not too slow, nice, easy pace through the Caribbean, and should be arriving here sometime. It should be around this area, Cayman, Jamaica, Cuba, around Wednesday, Thursday, possibly. Yucatan area by Friday, out of the Gulf of Mexico sometime about middle of the weekend. So for you guys across Mexico and the United States, you do have a good few days to watch, but unluckily friends here in the Caribbean, especially those in the Eastern Caribbean, you got no time. There are some warnings issued for some of these islands that aren't actually tropical storm warnings or watches or anything, but they're flood warnings and advisories, small craft advisories for these areas. Because even if this thing doesn't become a tropical depression or tropical storm right here, but right here, either way, you're going to have the bad conditions, which will be bad for boating. Stay off the water, and it'll also be bad for those mountainous areas, and that brings on the potential for mudslides and so on. So, if you don't have to be outside, don't be outside. Stay indoors, and for those in the Central Caribbean and the Western Caribbean, you better keep an eye on this thing. Very well likely to ramp up. Warnings, a tropical storm and hurricane warnings likely to be issued for any of these areas here as this thing does develop and head on westwards. So for all of you in these areas, keep a close eye, keep ears tuned in. Come and check me back up practically from every day this from now through the whole entire week. I'll be here to try keep you guys informed on what's going on. Also, keep an eye on the National Hurricane Center and their website, www.nhc.noaa.gov, as well as check out the Force 13 website as well. I'm sure that we'll have a link in the description or somewhere on the video. We'll have that there for you to check out. So I think if nobody else has anything else to add, I think
yes.
quickly say that I will be doing a climate show. I think I'll do the climate show this week. I'd like to do it around about Friday.
Okay.
If that's okay with David.
Yeah, that's good. And guys,
we will be talking about the La Nina and the current conditions on the sun as well. And I'm also going to mention what the possibilities are for this upcoming autumn and winter is shaping up. And I'll tell you what, guys, it is very interesting indeed what is going to be developing for this upcoming autumn and winter seasons. But anyway, back to David.
okay, thanks, Lee. And I should also acknowledge the support coming in to this live stream. A special edition of the Caribbean Weather Desk. Stephen Bell, thank you for your posts early on. There's been a few responses from Storm Chaser 75 and Martinez. Good to see you on this channel. And this is where the Force 13 team members could do their own thing, naturally within the guidelines of the Force 13 and the project, the operating guidelines. And Martinez, you asked whether the Southeast Texas might be impacted on. Adam, would you like to respond to that one?
Yeah, sure. At the moment, it's a bit too early to say. Some of the models were dabbling around the idea. We would know better once this thing enters the Central Caribbean, and once we get hurricane hunters flying into the system, and we get the data input into the model, and the models get better at this, we'll find out. The general consensus on models now, well, let's just throw it out there for now. The models are kind of taking this kind of, for the most part, westwards. And the spread of the models is a bit of a concern because, as you could see, as one of the models does indeed take it into Texas, So maybe not. We'll have to play it by ear, see what happens. You got this big Atlantic high pressure ridge along here that for the most part, if anything does happen, it's most likely west. But I mean, you could have a breakdown in the ridge from time to time, and it may end up, once it gets into here, it could end up curving upwards into Texas, Louisiana. I mean, hell, you could even have a complete breakdown on the western side of the ridge, and this whole entire thing could curve around and head into Florida. Doesn't seem likely at this point right now, but hey, lots of things could change in a short period of time. But for now, this is what it's looking like. I mean, it will change, so check back with me, and really check back with me in about a day or two. I bet you things are going to be a little different.
Thanks, Adam. Further comment, and there's quite a few to get through.
Mm-hmm.
And acknowledging the time factor for Lee. Storm Chase is... he's indicated, I've heard that the more intense it gets, the more north it will go.
Yes, indeed. It's this whole thing with the Coriolis effect as well as a few other things. Basically, what happens is that when systems, when they're more stronger, they tend to want to pull more northwards. Weaker systems, they want to stay more close to the equator, and it also works that as you get further away from the equator, the rotation tends to end up a lot more quicker. That's why when you look at storms that end up in the northeastern United States, Atlantic Canada, even extratropical systems out in the North Atlantic, you see when they're spinning pretty rapidly, and you see hurricanes that are down south and down low, they tend to spin a lot more slower. So yeah, it happens. So yes, you are right, indeed.
Okay, thanks, Adam. And another comment from the Storm Chase. Do you think now 96L? Do you think it will survive the dry air and possibly threaten land? So just quickly, what's the latest on 96L?
Well, 96L has weakened a bit, and I think it's to its own benefit, really, because if we were to look at it, it really did quite a bit of damage to itself, and it's because as soon as it came off of Africa and started really ramping up, and then it started to pull more northwestwards, and it was getting itself more into that dry air, and it wasn't doing itself any good. So the storm decided, the system itself decided to actually be smart and try to let itself survive by weakening. And as the system weakened, it moved southwestwards, and now it's down quite low. It's about right here, right now, and it's going to continue westwards. Right now it's in a fairly decent place. There's a lot of moisture around it, protecting it from the dry air. You could actually see a bit of the dry air here on satellite. That kind of pasty, light green, almost light teal color on the satellite imagery here. That's that dry air. It is kind of pushing in a little bit, but I suspect the system will remain weak for a few days until it gets around here. Then you could possibly see this thing start to kick off then. I'm thinking that it will indeed survive. I think that this will be the next system for the Caribbean to look out for. To say whether it'll go all the way through the Caribbean or come out over the Bahamas or out in the Southwest Atlantic, way too early to say. But for now, I'm going to say it remains a weak system, continues chugging westwards, and then should start to pick up in activity right about here. This is about generally the same area that 97 started picking up its activity, and I'm expecting generally the same thing to happen there as well.
Okay, Lee, do you have any other comments? That's the latest from our viewers via our chat facility. So, Lee, across to you.
Well, I don't have much else to say at the moment. I think Adam's said everything perfectly fine. I just thought I'd mention the sun's impact on these systems, and I know that the Invest 97L will become a major hurricane. So for everybody that's going down its path, please be prepared for it. So, but anyway, that's all from me.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna make this a little bit interactive here, right? I'm gonna ask all the viewers a question, and I want to hear your responses on the next Caribbean weather desk, which should be tomorrow, hopefully. I'd like to hear your responses to this. For all you guys and girls who are located somewhere in the States or in the Caribbean, anywhere, Mexico, or anywhere in general, are you prepared for the storm season? And if you are in these areas, are you prepared for 97L when it does come across? Are you prepared for it? Are you ready for it? And if not, are you going to go prepare for it as soon as possible? So let me hear your answers, and I'll get through them on the next Caribbean Weather Desk.
Okay, thanks, Adam, and acknowledging the support in the chat room, and out to the Storm Chaser 75. What I will say, following on to what Adam has just said, we will post, you can post your response to the question that Adam put in our Force 13 extra feedback. That facility is available, so we look forward to your feedback. But before we go, and I know that Lee has to sign off for the night, just quickly, Adam, the Philippines, Hong Kong threat.
Yes, indeed. Behind the scenes, us guys here, we have been watching and discussing. We have been watching this and expecting to see this happen. And yes, we could. That is also another serious situation that is picking up. We could be looking at a definite typhoon heading towards Hong Kong, and after the whole thing with Napartak and all of that, you guys over there definitely probably deserve a little bit of a break. But yeah, no, there's that system, there's another system, and there's, looking at the forecast extended range, there's likely to be a few more systems to come about. So if all of you over there in the Asia region, it's your guys' time to start, getting this stuff too. Your guys' seasons seem to have started a little bit late, but hey, they say better late than never.
Okay, Adam, in closing, or this special update, what are your plans? We are looking at Nathan on our main Force 13 channel is not ruling out live broadcasting tomorrow, and
Or Monday.
Yep, and Lee, Adam, and I will be providing further updates, live streaming on this channel, and between the two channels, stay tuned. and it's going to be a fascinating week ahead. And Alan, your final thoughts.
Well, my final thoughts for tonight are that we'll be keeping a very close eye on what 97 does overnight, and we'll keep you updated tomorrow, and we'll see what's different, what's changed. For all of you guys, especially for you guys in the Caribbean, you better start prepping now if you're not prepped already. For all my colleagues in emergency management and so on, you know, you guys, you've seen this before. You know what's going to happen. You guys done training before. You guys know what you need to do. Do what you need to do soon, because we want to try and prevent loss of life. For my colleagues who are in tropical meteorology, let's make this a fun storm to be tracking and forecasting. Let's see how it goes. For the rest of the people who will be stuck in the middle of this, just good luck to you all, and stay safe. Don't do anything stupid. Don't go out on boats, small boats, when you're supposed to stay on shore, and stuff like that. And for you guys over in Asia, we'll also cover you guys too. And you guys stay safe. For you guys in the U.S., you got your severe weathers going on there, and the severe heat that's been going on there. God knows how you guys can handle it, but. Hey, we got to watch out for this system too, and the one behind that. Good luck to you guys, and let's all just be prepared together.
Okay, cheers for now.